What's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. The Lifeweaver reception has been a bit of a mixed bag. Almost everybody, including myself, even being a big fan of the character, agree that his kit is clunky. It's odd, the buttons that you have to press in order to keep his gameplay flowing. Luckily, Overwatch 2 is a proper live service game, so they're looking at reworking this already. Keller tweets out, the team is looking into alternative control methods for Lifeweaver's dash and weapon swap in order to make the transition from healing to damage smoother. Additional details and timing coming soon. Lifeweaver launched with a buff initially, which I believe makes him the first new hero release into Overwatch that released with a day one buff, and now he's going to be receiving a bit of a early rework. I think it would have made a lot more sense for everyone if he just had his secondary fire on alternate fire, similar to most other characters. It's my assumption that they were just married to the idea of Lifeweaver swapping entirely like Mercy does in order to be offensive, but the truth is Lifeweaver kind of needs to be laying down suppressing fire, and that's kind of intentionally baked into the character, so it's really odd that he released this way. It's the type of strange thing you just wouldn't have expected to ever happen in Overwatch 1, where they took much longer time with things, but also, stopped developing entirely because of that. Luckily, though, we are in a proper live service game now. So while this is a glaring issue that a lot of us think should be resolved, they are looking to resolve it quite quickly. There's other complaints about his kit. For example, he slows down as he charges up a healing blossom, and it might be assumed that he'd be too overpowered if he could freely strafe while charging up his heal, or if he was able to freely switch to alternate fire without the entire weapon switch delay mechanic. But at this point, I'm not sure most of the community would feel this way, as he is an incredibly technical hero, and I've been finalizing my final thoughts on whether I think he's a good hero for most players to play or not. Does he troll? Is he good? We'll develop those ideas in the upcoming tier list video. Without a doubt, he requires expertise, whereas other characters, especially in the sport category, are a little bit more straightforward to get their value. Aim at teammate, heal them. Lifeweaver's more complicated than that, obviously, but that's also why I love him. Also, there was a big problem with the rank system launch in Season 4. It was supposed to have removed Decay entirely, and basically your visible rank should be your real rank, more or less. But if that's the case, why is there still so many ways to obfuscate it? It's all very confusing. Keller tweeted out, we've been working to solve an issue for some players who received a lower rank in Season 3 than they should have. We've identified a fix and plan to include it in the next patch later this month. Impacted players should receive their corrected Season 3 ranking and receive competitive points and titles based on where they ended once the patch goes live. To help make up for it, competitive points will be granted again. So these players will both get the correct CP gain, but they will also get the original grant we gave them. So a little extra boost for messing up. But the confusion in rank doesn't end there. A lot of players are reporting to have been placed at the start of the season lower or even sometimes higher than before. Partially that would make sense because if they are aligning your visible rank to your hidden MMR, if you say like lost 10 games, you would be lower. But also I think based on the confusion, this is just yet another blunder in the communication and transparency on how this rank system works. And I suppose we'll just grow out of it when they finally remove all of the weird manipulations and we're used to it stabilizing season to season without any decay. According to Morgan Madron on Twitter, server engineer at Blizzard, your rank should now reflect your true MMR, unless if you logged in during the first hour of the patch where they accidentally decayed Season 4 ranks, even though there was a prompt saying that they removed it. And if that did happen to you, it will be resolved when you get your first ranked update. So that's just a cosmetic issue. So basically, your hidden MMR and visual MMR will now, ideally, after you get a full reset, be in sync. This can cause some pretty dramatic results from previous seasons. Guru, who's an insane player, says this, just to put things in perspective, last season I did an unranked to GM MMR, and my 17th game I was in a top 100 lobby as a Plat 1. I just checked the update on the rank on it for Season 4, and it's GM 1. This is a combination of confusing things. The rank visuals before were severely lacking in timing, but it's pretty obvious when you're in a top 100 lobby because you know all the players in it, which would indicate 8, he knew he was at a maxed out MMR essentially, even though his visual rank was showing plat. Well, now in Season 4, that just syncs up immediately to what the MMR is. It's all very confusing, but I think with enough playtime, it will sort itself out. We don't have to worry about this fake, phony system anymore. But I will note the downside that you might track with this is that ranked might feel a lot less rewarding because you're probably going to stay and hover within the same subdivision for a long time until you actually work on improving as a player, as opposed to the more cosmetic system where you got to earn back a visual rank icon and go through the progression of seeing numbers go up. Now you're going to stay stagnant more so because that's in reality how player skill works usually. Keeping in mind a lot of players around your rank are kind of consistently getting better over time as well. So you have to improve just to keep up with everybody else as they watch content, get better, practice, etc. Lifeweaver has a pretty crazy bug or tech, depending on how you think about it, where if you use a movement ability after life grip, there is a immense slingshot effect. Flats shows off shooting across the entirety of Point A of Junkertown, which is probably the longest first map in the game. Honestly, I'm not so sure how useful I think this is anyway, but it certainly is something that probably should be patched, at least adjusting like the momentum modifier that's being abused here, I think. Next, let's look at some community reactions to Lifeweaver. There was a Reddit post by Plurhaze that says, I have had more good interactions with Lifeweaver's pull than trolls so far. Everyone's biggest talking point since Lifeweaver's announcement has been his ally trolling ability. With the games I've played with him so far, it's actually been so fun to have a Lifeweaver on my team. He saved me multiple times, brought stragglers up to the right path to join our team, saved from sleeps when I got caught out of position. Only a small percentage of the pulls were annoying, as most players really are trying to be good teammates. May walls have blocked off paths or lifted teammates up into danger or blocked their own Rhine's shatters for years, and people still find ways to coexist with her. I don't see this being any different. This is what I was saying having grinded the character pre-launch. Even in the event of a non-ideal or bad pull, you're still getting immunity frames. So if you were critical, which is usually when Lifeweaver will pull it, at least you're not dying. At least for that moment anyway. Grasshopper on Reddit shows off a clip where he's trying his best to save his teammate Reinhardt, who is in against a Batiste window, which, I don't know if you know this, gives 100% amplified damage Reinhardt, and he, of his own volition, with no armor health, pins all the way back into the fray. You know what, guys? You're right. The Lifeweaver's the problem here. Why didn't he let the Rhine keep his agency and playmaking opportunity? This silly Lifeweaver. What an anti-fun character that stops Reinhardt from dying 5 seconds earlier. One last shout out for the video. As it's a new patch, new season, we're going to make a new Google Form submission for you guys to send in replay codes where you lost but thought you played well. I keep building out the catalog of clips that we have found from your guys' replays, and we'll be introducing them into content very soon. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave the video with a like, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to actually get notified when our videos come out. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.